Zell and Jacqueline West. Anyway, if you want to hear my thoughts on the interview with them two, I'll put the link below. Because, anyway, for today, though, we're going to talk about some other stuff, I think. I think we're going to talk about, what's going on with the investigation, what's been done, things like that. And, I got a couple other topics we'll go over. But first, we're going to start with the investigation stats. Now, these stats, I'm not going to lie to you, are not up to the day. The best, most backed proof I could find, because that's how I want this to that's my technique. I want everything that I tell you to be a known fact, because I don't want to cause confusion and people running around threatening other people, that kind of thing. But we're going to go through the stats, and they are. During this time, since they've become missing, they've interviewed 83 people. Now, that's not bad. I know you think 83, that's not that many. But these are interviews. These are, bringing them in, sitting them down, talking to them. Not, I'm sure they're not counting like they was walking down the street and seen somebody. You know what I'm saying? This is actual questioning. Not like the neighbors out when they're 3 blocks down and they're like, hey, did you see anything? No, I didn't see nothing. Okay. That's a lot. 83 interviews. So they've had 83 people they thought knew enough to interview. They have seized 170 items. That's a lot, I think. Because anything you're seizing, you're not just taking stuff to take it. Right? So to have 170 things that you have hope there's some kind of evidence in, that's a lot. And I'm just going to spit this out there now, because this will make a lot more sense why I'm so confident. And that's because they've said they've held back 90% of their evidence. I think they've got evidence. I think they're just making sure this goes down right. I really want to think that. I really want to think they've got evidence that they give them to these great people who are watching them, and we're going to figure that out. But I want, no matter what this outcome is, there to be repercussions for whoever caused this. And I know them little boys didn't just wander away and ain't nobody found them. They're still out there wondering, or something happened, because where they lived, and no, that didn't happen. Somebody has Orrin and Orson, or somebody knows where they're at. We know that. They didn't wander off. You don't wander off in the middle of California City. Doesn't happen. So you know, when they wasn't found in the first couple hours, somebody had them. Because they're little, man. That's what breaks my heart about these two the most, is how little they are. These guys, it's rough, man. It really is. Anyway, that's kind of, sorry. They've done 16 mass area searches, which were huge searches, not just, like checking this lot and that lot. They've done 16 of those. They've served 44 search warrants, which, judges don't just deal them out like playing cards. That's quite a few search warrants. You have to go to a judge to sign off on search warrants. And they don't just offer them in bulk. I'll guarantee you that. There's been 3 out-of-state searches. And that kind of gives me optimism, thinking that they think they've been taken away instead of something's happened to them. And they're just looking for a recovery. That gives me a little hope, because I want to be positive about this. I want these little boys found. And I want to say this right now. I pray everyone knows by watching my video, I'm not trying to make you think you should not be looking for these two. I will never give up on a kid until we know. Always be looking. Just because I'm telling you, I think the parents are shady. I don't know what they've done Orrin Orson can very well still be out there, and that's what we're praying for. There's been a lot of good luck lately. Cleo Smith and Noah and Amber Claire, we're on a roll right now, man. It's been pretty good news of the ones that we hear about more often. Hopefully Orrin's going to join that list, man. That's what I'm hoping for, to be honest. They received over 200 tips. Now that's... like I know this other case that has 1,000 tips in half the time. So that's not a lot of tips, but I don't think there's a lot of people that saw nothing, Hell, the neighbors didn't even see Orrin and Orson, so not a lot of people saw these two little boys. And there's a $125,000 reward out at July 1st, and it's probably higher than that. So there's a lot of reasons for somebody, if they know where Orrin and Orson is, tell somebody. If you think you're going to get in trouble, oh well, man, just do the right thing. All right, now we're going to talk about some of the evidence type things, and I'm going to split it between California City and Bakersfield, because California City had it in the beginning, Bakersfield has it now. And see, to me, that says a lot. That tells me they don't think nothing happened in California City. They think it happened in Bakersfield. I'd almost guarantee you that. Because these cities are like 70, 80 miles apart. They're not real close. It's really confusing. Now, I know that they lived in Bakersfield before, but that was months earlier. So they think there's a connection. I guarantee you that. That's a guarantee. Moving forward. Now, this is California City. The neighbors said they never seen Orrin and Orson. Okay? Nobody in California City that I can find has ever seen Orrin and Orson. So that tells you we don't think Orrin and Orson made it there. They had a neighbor, and this is the really interesting thing. They had a neighbor that said he never seen or heard any kids. And they should have had 6. And Orrin and Orson were the youngest. The oldest was like near 10. I know they were all under 10, and there were 6 of them. Orrin and Orson's 3 and 4. So, you got from 4 to 10, 4 kids along with these 2 little guys, and nobody, you didn't hear none? That's wild to me, man. That says it all right there. And that says a lot about how they was treating the other kids. They damn sure wasn't outside running and playing, I'll tell you that, was they? Anyway. They did say that they located a scent in the residence in California City, but not outside of the residence. Now, I have a problem with that because it just seems like to me you have 6 little kids plus Dumb and Dumber, 8 scents in that house. How is it they can separate Orrin and Orson's where they're being and all that? Now, I'm not saying they might not have had a scent there, possibly, but it was from something, clothing or something like that. I would think it would almost have to be. I do not think they made it to California City. And I don't think a lot of people do. But they did find a gift bag near the home. I don't know if they said which name was on it, but it was Orrin or Orson's. And it's near the home. So I don't think that was an accident. That sounds like to me somebody was trying to get a sign away from the house. For whatever reason. And they said it was clothing in one of the interviews I seen. I'm not going to swear to that, but if there was clothing too, that's really suspicious that it's that far from the house. How did it get there? That's weird to me. Now we're going to go to Bakersfield. Now they took over in March 1st, 2021. And like I said, that suggests to me that they think the crime happened in Bakersfield. Now, they've searched the Old West place where they moved from in Bakersfield. When they moved to California City, this is where they lived before that. They've searched that place. I don't know what evidence they got out of that. I just know that they had all that evidence. I told you before, how much was it? It was 170 items. I doubt all them come from California City. I wouldn't think, you know. And we know they got their tech too, which is probably going to be their downfall, because there seems to be a big problem with producing a current picture or anything recent of Orrin and Orson, is what I'm hearing. And I know I also heard that somebody was talking about doing age progression from when they were with their biological family. So that's crazy if you got to do age progression on something because you can't find a picture of them that's better than 2 years ago. I hate to moving forward. Police have said they've held back 90% of what they got. So that makes you think they've got a lot. I think they've got a lot. I'm just wondering what's taking so long to slap some people with some handcuffs is what I ain't understanding. And, you know, Bakersfield's being real tight-lipped with the exact person that last seen Orrin and Orson outside of the immediate family. I think the grandma's made a claim. I don't want to quote me on that, but her word's not great with me. Now I'm going to tell you, this is something I learned too. I learned this last night actually, and I thought this was pretty much the be-all tell-all, was the security footage. The security footage. Now there is security footage. I've actually seen 2 separate videos of security footage, and one of them is when Trezell West is supposed to be searching for the boys, and it's just odd at best. I'll try to find the link for that and throw it in, but it's like he never really searches, in my opinion, at all. And I'm pretty sure it shows that no one ever searched the front yard. He kind of looked around the backyard, but he didn't. There was this shed and other stuff. I would have to say he was going through the motions, possibly. But the thing about that is they did some dumb stuff. You would think it's just weird. You know, it's like I'm 99.5% sure they were doing some shady stuff. Oh, yeah, or higher, because the security footage shows like him go out in the back, and he's out there for a little bit, and it shows him doing something weird, and you can't exactly tell. Like I said, I'm going to add a link, and I'll let you see what you think you can make out of it. It's really bizarre, okay? There's this part where the lights go on and off, somebody's flickering the lights. It's weird stuff. But there's also this other piece of security footage, and this is the dagger to me. And it shows them leaving on December 19th, okay? And it shows them getting the van with 4 kids. They come back with no kids, okay? And the 4 they took were the 4 they had before Orrin and Orson, I think, but it was the 4 that weren't Orrin and Orson. They took them to the grandma's for a weekend. They said Orrin and Orson were too rambunctious. And, you know, I put this in my last video. He only said that to explain bruising, if they're found, is what I fear. I feel like they're going to be found with injuries, and he's already doing a preemptive strike with this bull crap about they were so rambunctious. At 3 and 4, how rambunctious could they have been, you jackass? Anyway, breathe, John. Okay. Anyway, They left with 4, come back with none. All right. And if they didn't load but 4, where were Orrin and Orson then? And that was on the 19th. They were already gone on the 19th, is what I feel. And I want to add this in there too. Chris McDonough, I seen a little clip with him, and he was talking about this. Hi, Chris, big fan of your work. Let me get about I don't know, about 30,000 more subscribers. Maybe we'll do a live together or something. Anyway, McDonough, he did an interview, and he said that it was quite odd that 2 of them went missing. That I can see, yeah. That's awful. You never think about it like that, but it's almost like you think about this as a one case, and you don't even remember there's 2 separate little boys missing almost. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people probably know what I'm talking about. It's heartbreaking, man. And it's heartbreaking. It really is. And he talked about it seemed like it was a low-risk area where they went missing from, and that's what I said. You know, I hate to say this, but you knew in 30 minutes, if you couldn't have found them, that they wasn't in that neighborhood. Because them little boys could only went so far, man. They were 3 and 4. They couldn't have walked but so far. Some adult, I don't think they were there that night regardless. So I don't even want to get into that. He said that they got everything from Cal City, so they moved to Bakersfield. Yeah, but I still say they moved to Bakersfield because they wasn't in Cal City. That's what I believe, personally. That's just my opinion, but I think it just speaks so much about that, you know. And, you know, I hate little Orrin and Orson are missing. I'm going to do some more research and make an even more extensive video on these guys, man, because they break my heart. I was adopted. You know, I don't usually tell that, but I was. It's not something I'm ashamed of. I was lucky. I was super lucky. I got the best parents in the world. And I'm hoping when these little 2 fellers right here are found, they get adopted by the greatest people on the planet. And I really pray that happens too. That's it, guys. I'm going to do some more research. You know, like I said, I did the video on Trezell and Jacqueline, and right now, if I had to give my opinion, they did whatever happened to Orrin and Orson happened prior to California City, and it happened at the hands of Jacqueline and Trezell. I've never seen 2 people look any guiltier than they did. You know, a lot of people wouldn't go out and say that, but they're guilty of something. They are the reason them boys are disappearing. They didn't wander off, and I don't think nobody took them. That's my opinion solely. Tell me what you think. I'm going to do another one on them later. I don't want BS in my videos, so I really try to weed everything out pretty good. And I'm going to throw their thumbnail up and of their missing poster. And everybody keep your eyes open, man. I don't want me doing videos to affect you looking for them. And people try to say that that's what happens when people make videos and talk about them, but talk about they think certain people did something to them, and I don't want that to be the case. I want everybody to, after you watch my video, stare at the thumbnail and keep your eyes open for these 2 little guys, man. I would love to find them, and like I said, we've been on a roll. Cleo Smith, Noah, and Amber Claire. It could happen again. Let's pray to God, everybody. Give us some prayer hands. Throw it in the comments. Tell me what you think, and God bless all y'all. All y'all good folk.